Welcome to Discover Janesville. My name is Yuri Rashkin, and today we are guests here at the International Academy, which is one of the charter schools run by the Janesville School District. My next guest is Jon Simon of TATE Center. Jon, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
So, TATE clearly stands for something. It's not just somebody's name. If you could talk a little bit about what the charter school does, what your charter school does, that would be great.
Okay. TATE actually stands for Truancy Abatement and Transitional Education. And we're actually a program, not a charter school. We're not our own school. We're a program similar to All Pro or SW at School Within a School that happen at some of the other schools. But we're off campus because our primary function over the last 5 years has been to accept expelled students. And of course, students who are expelled are not allowed on school property, which is why we're not located like the All Pro or School Within a School at one of the high schools or middle schools. So we take 6th through 12th grade students, and we take a variety of students, students who are expelled, students who are pre-expelled, and the assistant principal or the director in charge of that pre-expulsion feels that an off-campus program would be best for them. Students who are suspended, out of school suspended, and on juvenile probation, and where the agent and the assistant principal feel that our placement is better than the student sitting at home or being incarcerated at the detention center. And then the last type of student is students who are transitioning out of a correctional or drug rehabilitation placement and are coming in usually in the middle of a semester. So a student coming out of Ethan Allen, which is a juvenile, I don't want to use the word prison, but essentially it's a longer term placement for juvenile offenders. They come out in November, and to put them at Craig or Parker where they really can't earn any credit because it's too late in the semester is just setting up for failure. So they'll use the TATE Center as a placement. We can, because we have smaller numbers and we're a program, we can condense the curriculum and have them focus just on English or just on English and math and get them some credit where they don't have that flexibility at Parker or Craig High School.
So unlike other charter schools, with TATE Center, you're dealing with kids who really are having a difficult time.
Right, yeah, and we're set up to be a one-semester program.
All right, so this is not a 4-year program, it's
correct.
a semester.
And that's the main reason why we're not a school, is we don't have the resources, the setting, and the curriculum to have a student be there for 4 years. We're a one-semester program. Our goal is to get students back into a regular school, whether it be Rock River, whether it be Cress, whether it be Parker or Craig or the middle schools, to get them back to a setting where they can go on and graduate.
All right. If people are interested in getting in touch with you to learn more about the program, how do they do that?
I would probably recommend calling Student Services with the School District of Janesville, which is the phone numbers on the website.
Sure. But contacting Student Services and going that route.
Yeah, going that route would be the best. My boss is the director of at-risk and multicultural programs, Dr. Yolanda Cargile. And so it's through her that students get placed. A lot of times people call us, and that's fine at the TATE Center. But we don't have I don't have the authority to make a decision on whether or not a student is appropriate. That's done by Dr. Cargile.
So then they will qualify that student and decide if they fit into your guidelines.
Right. There's an application, a one-page application, and then we do an interview process with the student to make sure that they're similar to like Crest. They need to be at an appropriate place to be successful with us. If they're looking just for a different setting to do the same thing, it's going to be a struggle because we're not going to put up with fights. We've had one fight in the 6 years I've been there. So those kinds of things we don't tolerate, just like the regular school. So the interview process is really important for students to be willing to recognize that they're at a place where they want their education, that being expelled woke them up and they're motivated now to do what they need to do to get back to school.
All right. Are there some additional fees that are being charged of students? It's just part of the regular tuition?
It's the regular, you know, we do have a lunch, so it'd be the same as school lunch.
Sure.
But other than that, there's no additional fees.
All right. How did you get interested in this line of work? It sounds like not quite the most dangerous thing you could be doing, but you definitely are working with kids who've been through some difficult things.
Well, I'm a social studies teacher by trade. I did that for 2 years, but my position was cut each of the 2 years in another district. I then actually went and worked in an adult prison as a teacher. I got that position, and it was in Milwaukee. And I always wanted to work with young people. I had worked with adults in previous jobs, and I knew I wanted to work with young people. So I was motivated to do that, and having worked in the prison for 2 years, I kind of thought that there had to be something where, you know, that on my resume would help me, and I found out there's an actual alternative ed license. I got that license and started looking at alternative ed jobs, and was blessed enough to be offered the job at the TATE Center, and it's really worked well. It fits what I like to do, and I think that we've had a pretty good success rate.
Is there some success story that particularly that stands out for you? Somebody, without violating anybody's privacy or respecting everybody's privacy, but is there some story that stands out for you as an example of what people at TATE Center can achieve?
Sure. We've had a number of students go on and graduate, so all of those are obviously success stories. I think the one that sticks out the most to me is we actually had a student graduate from the Rock River Charter School, and she actually came back. She was with us as a junior, I believe, and it was for fighting, a female who was there for fighting. And she actually came back to thank us. And I think that kind of success story, you know, we see it in the newspaper, we hear, you know, we work pretty closely with Rock River staff, so a good number of our students end up coming here and graduating through Rock River Charter. But this one, to actually have a student come back, because a lot of times our students want to get back to school, they don't want to necessarily be with us, and so that's, you know, we're a one-room.
You're a step that allows them to walk through that door.
We're a one-room school. We have no FIAD. We strictly do academics. We have some groups that come in and we try to get outside and take a walk or something, but there isn't that fun part of school. There's no tech ed classes, there's no music classes, so it's real academic. So students, you know, count down to when they can get back to a regular school, because those things that they like. Yeah, and I recognize that, and you know, we do our best to make it, but to have a student come back and thank us, even though we had some power struggles with her when she was there, she recognized that. I think that's really when, you know, I realized that what we're doing at TATE is mattering, and it is positive, even though we don't always get the thank you each day. It's long term often that we end up hearing about it. So,
great. Over the years that you've been with TATE, what are some of the things that you've learned about kids, or perhaps about yourself? Or
I think about kids. I think a lot of times it's figuring out what they're interested in. I think a lot of the students that I end up working with are, I hate to call them lost, but they kind of are. They don't have that interest in the high school activities to get them engaged in high school, so they only go there for school. And I think even though they might have a tech ed class that they like or a music class that they like, to just do school and no extracurriculars has to be difficult. I can't imagine me enjoying high school at all if I had just done the classes and went home and never went to a sporting event, never played in the band, never, you know, gone to a musical, or, you know, and just done school. And I think one of the things that we try to talk to our students about is what can they get involved with. And we've had some students go back and get on a track team or get on a wrestling team, or we had one girl go back and do POMs. You know, she was with us for fighting, and she went back and she was on the POM squad the next semester, and we're like, you know, who would have thought that, you know, you think of a girl who gets expelled for fighting, and you think of the pom-pom girls, and you don't often think of the same person. And she did. She went back, and so that was, and I think that's helped some of the success. And I think the other thing is most students do want to graduate, that they just need someone to kind of help them find the reason why. You know, what's it going to do for them? And we often talk about, you know, high school's 4 years, work is the next, you know, while the way things are going, it might be the next 60 for them. And, you know, so, you know, that's, don't sacrifice being the big dog in high school, the toughest, coolest, whatever, for 4 years, and then that sacrifices the next 60. So we have that conversation a lot too, because I think they...
So thinking long term.
Yeah, getting them to think long term, I think, is one of the things that a lot of our students don't do.
All right.
And
if you have somebody who is watching this, who is maybe either somebody who could be a student or participant of your program, or a parent of such person, what do you feel they need to know?
That we're there. I think we're kind of a lot of times people don't realize that we, you know, they see recommended for TATE when, you know, you read the little article about a student getting expelled, but they don't really know what that is, and that students can come to us, they can earn credit. You know, that's one of the main reasons we exist for the high school students, is so they can earn some credit, so they can stay up with their class, and that we're a small environment, so we're not taking a large number. It's a safe place for students to go when they've gotten in trouble, when they've made a mistake. And I think a lot of times parents get nervous, and I think somewhat rightfully so, that their students expelled, and so we're going to send them to a school with 10 other students that are expelled. Well, that's not, you know, necessarily thought of as a safe place, but we're a safe environment for students who don't have any other options right now in the district, and they need that place to attend school.
Great. Jon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.